Well, welcome to another episode of Midlife Moxie. I'm Gail.
And I'm Jen.
And oh my gosh, fall is finally getting here.
Yes.
Down here in the South, it's all about apples and pumpkins. Apples and pumpkins.
Apples.
However, you could probably still swim on a lot of days.
Today is one of those days as we're recording right now. We're in early October and it is really warm today, like 85, 84, 85.
Mhm.
But then it drops. It's been cold in the evenings for us, like 40s.
Yeah, it gets some cool. I
I
mean,
love that.
and I think a lot of our clients, what throws them is like people, if someone said, I'm coming to visit you next week, what clothes should I bring? Or what will the weather be?
Mhm.
And I said, it'll be what it is when we wake up and go outside and check. That's the way it will be. And so our clients, one of the biggest questions we get right now is that transition season and that odd mix of putting away your decidedly summer pieces, bringing out your decidedly winter pieces. And I'm sorry, I've got my retainer in it. I realize I'm sounding a little okay.
You're good.
Good girl for my orthodontist. And I get a lot of questions. Oh my gosh, I need to go to an event tomorrow. I don't know what to wear. This seems to be these transitions seem to be when we get the most comments of I don't know what to wear. So
Yes.
today I thought we'd give them some very practical ways. And we've been talking a lot about this on our socials and our blog, but there's still so much more we can say. And for me, I think there's two ways. One, do different color combinations with some of your summer pieces that can make them feel different. And two, the way you wear your pieces, the way you mix things together, what you bring in, that will give a nod. Because some of us, I think first off, we could talk about what makes a garment feel like fall or cooler weather. And for me, I think if it's a sweater, even though we can wear sweaters in the summer, especially open weave,
Mhm.
there's still something about that woven, knitted feeling that does feel, or can at least, when styled properly, feel more fall winter, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, especially when styled properly. So yeah, if you have a lightweight sweater styled for the fall, and going in the winter, obviously, if you live in a cold climate, not probably going to work as well. But that transition, I think, especially if we're pairing it with fall pieces and with maybe even fall colors. If you've got a summer piece that happens to have that, right, those earthy tones or darker tones, even though it's a summer piece, you'll be able to transition that a lot easier, I think, into the fall winter than if you have something that's like sunshine yellow.
Yeah, when we think about what makes
Yeah.
people think of fall and winter clothing, we think sweaters, we think wool pieces, we think jackets and coats, we think deeper colors, which we're going to encourage you pay attention to your palette more than you
Yeah.
do the weather season. But like what you've got on today is a great example of how sweaters are great transition pieces because it's got a cute little turtleneck on it, but it's short sleeved. So if you saw her on the street, this would definitely feel like autumn, especially if she paired it with slacks. Now in the summer, she could pair it with a pair of linen shorts and sandals as well.
Yeah.
But if this was slacks, it's
Yeah.
going to feel very autumnal without getting too hot or too
Right, right.
rainy.
Because this is very lightweight. The turtleneck, this is basically a fall to winter styles, which is why it kind of, once we get into spring, this does not feel like spring, even though I could wear it because it's always, if it's still chilly. But that's when you're like, okay, this garment is a great transition. We were just talking about this because we're in October. I don't want to wear any more summer clothes personally, but Gail's going to touch on that. So I have very few true transition pieces, like only are worn within the
They're kind
summer
of
and
hard
the
to
winter.
find. They're kind of hard to find, but I think the
Yeah.
short sweater is one of your best bets, especially
Yes.
if it's a thinner material that you can layer a jacket on
Yes.
to take it on into winter. In the summer, especially if it's like cotton or silk, those tend to be lightweight and not too hot. In the summer, you can wear it by itself. In the winter, you can put a jacket on it and
Yeah.
it works in either situation. Because sometimes I notice my clients want to just completely turn over their closet
Yeah.
All these clothes go upstairs to my other closet. All these are coming down, kind of thing. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What are we doing here?
Right.
Some of these pieces work perfectly fine year round. Sleeveless shells, they're great under blazers. And I like them because I don't, being a girl that's taller, I have kind of longer arms, and sometimes it's short slit under a jacket, things get bunched up. It just
Yeah, I hate that. Yeah.
doesn't work out right, or the sleeve doesn't come outside the jacket. So, what's the point anyway? Just wear a shell. They don't have to worry about that because I don't live in a climate that gets extremely cold. But a
So
lot
we
of shells, your sweaters that are like a little sweater camisole or sweater vest that you may have worn by itself this summer, now it's perfectly appropriate to throw on a jacket with it. And
Yeah,
just
I would agree. If I had a short sleeve sweater, for example, like, well, even with this one, even though this is not a summer piece, like I was just telling you, like, out when it starts getting cooler out, or it's getting the evening gets cooler, I put a leather jacket on with this, and it's a great look with jeans and boots. Like, super,
mhm.
super simple, very appropriate for the season. So what I'm hearing from you, Gail, so far is year-round pieces that we can absolutely wear on their own or with lighter layers in the summer and spring. And in the fall, winter, when it gets colder, we layer on heavier pieces. And that might be shells and short sleeve sweaters and sweater vests
Mhm.
so far, right? Okay. And I think that's really important, especially if you're shopping and you're have your eye on this cute lightweight sweater or short sleeve sweater and you're someone that runs hot in the heat, like you go inside in the wintertime and it's hot and you want to take like you those layering pieces are probably some of your smartest buys if they can take you all year round for that, right?
At least I talk a lot about 3 season pieces that they eat at least will go 3 seasons for you, either spring, summer, fall, or
Hmm.
fall, winter, spring, depending on where you live. What pieces can
Right.
go 3 seasons? For me, a lightweight woven sweater, like
Yeah.
out of cotton, can go 3 seasons. Especially if it's 3/4 sleeve,
Hmm.
I can wear that spring, summer, and fall because I would in the summer when I would wear it would be in the evening if I'm going to dinner where I know the restaurant's going to be really cool, air
Air
conditioned.
conditioning. Yep.
That's what happens to us down here. You go out, it's hot during the day, but the minute you step inside,
Hmm.
it's freezing, like in a movie
Yep.
theater. So,
You'll see me in the summertime here, and when especially we go out in the evening. I'm always wearing like linen pants and a short sleeve shirt or cami, and then a open woven sweater. Because, like you said, once you go into the AC, I can be I hate being uncomfortable. I am not someone that's like can power
it's
through.
stuck there for a while. Okay. This next one may feel a little trickier to some of our listeners, one of the two listeners we have, but it's something I think really works is trade out one piece. Instead of doing your whole outfit in fall winter clothes that might feel too heavy, too hot, trade out one piece. Trade your top for long sleeves that you may still wear with shorts or a shorter skirt, or keep
Okay.
your short sleeve top and put on pants. So you're trading kind of one top, one half of that
Yeah.
outfit for something that's a little more coverage, a little more warmth. And it just really does feel and really does look like a transition.
I really like that tip. That because I think a lot of us get overwhelmed with trying to pull together fall-like outfits when it's not cold enough just yet from based on where you live. And so now you're like, well, then I have nothing to wear
Mhm.
because you're not thinking that you can still wear those pieces. So I really like that concept. So it can be bottom half, short instead of shorts, put on like jeans, right? Jeans and closed toe shoes, not sandals. I want to
Now
make an
we're going to talk
assumption.
about this the
Okay,
style.
we'll talk about shoes, right? And then, or the opposite, go ahead and wear some nice shorts and just start switching in something like a lightweight sweater or a long sleeve blouse, something that you can then try. I love that tip. I hope everyone takes that to heart because that makes things so much easier when you're looking in your closet. You want to feel like you're in the season, but you just don't know what to grab. And I think even if you had a t-shirt that kind of reads summer, when you layer it with jeans and some,
Especially like a
shoes.
colored jean.
Yeah, it would
Um,
be just fine, I think.
Interesting. I wouldn't go all the way to corduroys with my short sleeves unless I was wearing a jacket, but
Hmm.
denim can just feel a little heavier. You've got a little more coverage,
Right.
or even if you go to from a short to a crop pant, that's just moving it down a little bit, kind of in
Yeah.
stages.
Yeah.
Um, so I think one doing one half the body is a really good option.
I really, really like that.
Styling, I want to give an example here because I
Okay.
think we'll bring it home. Say you have a lightweight chambray shirt dress. Got the vision? It may have long sleeves. It probably comes down around your just above or just below your knee. You can totally wear that in the summer with the sleeves rolled up, a pair
Hmm.
of drills or sandals, a raffia belt, some natural looking earrings or a colorful plastic type earring,
Definitely.
maybe even a sun hat, especially in the evening, and you're going to look like summer. But right now, you could take that same shirt dress, change the belt to leather, change the shoes to closed toed or even a boot, and change off the jewelry for something that feels a little heavier, maybe some chunky gold or something. And that same dress looks totally different and feels way more like the season we're in.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It's a great example. Just swapping out those accessories and stuff. Because especially if it's still pretty warm and you feel like wearing shorts or whatever, this is a great way to just put in a couple pieces so you're not feeling like you're dressing for June.
So
Yeah.
let's talk about how accessories can play. First
Okay.
off is the shoes. Shoes are one of the biggest. We want to go to more closed-toed, less strippy, covering more of the foot. Start to work in our boots. Even if you're not ready for a tall boot, maybe go to your booties. Um, moving away from some of our fabric shoes. Not all fabric shoes, like Vivea, can be year round, but like if it's a little canvas, something or another, a little slip on, we want to move to a leather shoe, a suede shoe.
Yeah.
Suede feels very fall winter. So just by making those few changes in our shoe, like if you still want to show a little bit, go for a slingback versus an open toe. A
Hmm.
slingback carries more in the fall than an open toe does, or you do a peep toe. So most of the shoes closed, but just a tiny little peep. But now it's the time to start wearing those loafers. And again, how you wear them. You might wear a loafer right now with a short and no socks, or the little cute hosiery socks that I wore yesterday. And I loved my outfit yesterday, I'm just gonna say. Winter, you might wear that same loafer with a woolen sock or a cashmere sock and trousers, and it can look very different. So it's how we put those pieces together. And then our belts and other things like bags, we want to move away from like macrame, woven fabrics, raffia, all those kind, and move towards our leathers, our suedes, in belts, shoes, and bags. And just changing out your bag can make a big difference.
Hmm. Hmm.
Going to
Definitely.
a heartier bag that feels a little heavier, that looks a little richer and deeper. And then with our jewelry, go back to those heavier layers, those things that have more weight to them will feel more like the season.
So let me ask you this, Gail. So then you mentioned like some things are so we're talking about transition, but you're also saying that some things we need to swap out sooner rather than later.
Linen,
Linen needs to go,
seersucker,
right?
espadrilles, really strippy sandals,
Yeah.
um, canvas shoes, all those need to rotate out. Those are decidedly summer and only summer, just like we have shoes and accessories and things that are dead of winter, like, wool and fur feels very dead of winter. If you've got a jacket that's wool with a fur collar, that's
Right.
not the transition piece. So if you are a person that likes to move things out of your closet, those are the things I would move. Things like eyelet lace,
Yeah.
all those type of things, those can be weeded out. But it's not going in and taking every piece you wear during the summer and shoving it out. It's
Yeah.
making selections of things that are decidedly summer and really don't have a way to be used.
Now I have a feeling that we're going to get comments from those that live in a hotter climate.
Mhm.
South of us and south of you, Gail, right? But it doesn't get it doesn't get cold. I mean, it might finally get chilly in December and January and February before it starts getting hot again, right? So we're talking about the southern states at this point. And in those situations, I can very easily see some people choosing hardly ever to need pants, hardly ever to
Mhm.
need, to wear jeans or, that kind of stuff. And so but I highly doubt they're going to want to necessarily wear their summer clothes all year round. They're going to be so tired
Correct.
of what,
This
they
is
want
where
to
preference
still want
comes
to
in.
change.
I mean, we all want to imagine that we're going to curl up with a
Yeah.
wool blazer and a cashmere turtleneck and a blanket and a cup of chai tea. We all want to envision that's the life we're living in
Little
the fall.
fireplace over here and
Yeah. Roaring fireplace, which
snow
we have not
outside.
used our fireplace probably in years. But even in those warmer climates, they do want that feel. And the way they're going to do it is very lightweight layers, like, say, a chambray top
Yeah.
that you just, like you take the chambray shirt, it has the long sleeves. You may still roll up the sleeves, tied at the waist with a little khaki short. But you're probably not going to wear your linen shorts right now. And sometimes this is where color can really make an
Yeah.
outfit feel more so. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But removing some of those very open weave items, or if you're going with an open weave, make it in a deeper color. Like I just got a couple of clients this gorgeous chocolate. I mean, deep cocoa chocolate
Yeah.
open weave sweater. And when they wear that with a tonal, same color tank, as if it's a wide strap tank, that's going to bring that down a little bit compared to if they wore it with like a nude tank and lightweight linen shorts. They pair that with like a brown denim
Right.
pant and a darker cami underneath. That suddenly feels very fall. So pieces like that can be made to go either way. But things like seersucker and linen and raffia, those just
Yeah.
ever going to feel like fall winter no matter where you are. Now, another trend that we're seeing that I love and it really benefits our warm weather clients is the shorts trend.
I I'm really digging this trend a lot. I want
I
some
wore
leather
them
shorts.
yesterday. I wore faux leather because I'm not paying $300 for a pair of shorts, but I wore faux leather. And instead of tights, because it was still warm, I wore the little like bobby sock um, sheer hosiery piece with some flats and a short sleeve sweater. So it very much had a feel of a fall look because my shoes were black leather, my shorts were black faux leather. And so our eye reads that as fallish
Yeah.
versus summer. Whereas if those had been white shorts and a linen top, that would feel totally different.
Right.
Sometimes it's just about that combination, those little details of the fabric and the colors that can really, because it was still plenty warm yesterday, but I was comfortable all day. It was a short sleeve sweater. It wasn't open weave. I was totally comfortable all day and wore it to brunch and beyond.
Right. Right. So then for the pieces that don't fit into that category, so everything else opens up, right? Everything else that we didn't mention as far as like I get those got to go. Um, and we're going into hope, the cool weather. How out so this is probably where color will make a difference. Am I correct on this? So like if you wear black, if you can wear black, this is a really good example. So Gail will correct me if I'm wrong on this one. But if you have a black t-shirt, high quality, please, not crappy, just a nice t-shirt.
It's a black t-shirt. You better go high quality because those
Right.
fade terribly.
But to the point. And then that because it is a dark color, I mean it's in your palette so you can wear it all year round. But and then if you really needed to like bring the palette down in the fall winter, you've already got a piece that just goes that's all year round. Like you never have to worry about that. But if you had, I'm gonna just assume, let's just do like a light yellow. It's a great summery, bright, fresh color that I mean, would you transition something like that into fall winter?
Okay. For me, it depends on the piece. I think we transition tops in lighter colors like that and what we deem to be wet
Hmm.
summer colors. better than bottoms. Like to me, a pair
I
of
would
yellow
agree.
pants, unless they're wool, they're
Right.
not going to ever feel like a fall winter. And so even like a pink, like I've got a nice hot pink slack. I just love it. It's more of a canvasy material,
Yeah.
uh, just basic. And
It's cute.
it's a great pair of pants, but I'll probably put those away because that
Right.
color on the bottom and it's a year-round fabric, but when you combine the year-round fabric with that color, doesn't feel, just doesn't feel. Now,
Right.
wear a pink wool pant in the winter? Absolutely. And could I wear those now with like a colorful sweater? Yes, but I will soon move them, or just,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, in
So, but
my
you
brain, move them out. I don't typically move many of my clothes from my closet, but I typically won't reach for those. But tops seem to have a little wider range. I'm sorry, I got the baby dog asleep in my lap because she won't have any other way. She's making me have a cramp. Um,
so cute.
so like a yellow t-shirt, if you combine that with an olive jacket and a pair of jeans, then that could feel like fall, especially if you change the jewelry and you didn't lean into
Hmm.
the super bright, happy yellowness of it. You put on maybe some antique gold with that, play up the olive more, then that can absolutely work.
Interesting.
If
Yeah.
you if you even did like a tonal, like if you had the same color in a cardigan, so now you made it kind of a two-piece set and put that with like a brown pant, boom, that works.
I also would say, that's really helpful because I know people, I'm sure people are wondering, well, what about this, yellow top? If you're saying that everything, I can keep it, well, then what does that mean, right? So obviously, when it starts getting really cold in your area, maybe it's no longer a good layering piece. That's up to you, I think, or up to your stylist.
And
But
those short sleeve t-shirts for most of us are definitely going to be the transition.
yeah, we're talking
Now,
about right now, we're talking about transition when it's still fairly warm the daytime, cooler at night, not needing the heavy sweaters yet, but also not wanting to look like summer, right? So just a reminder, that's what we're talking about right
some of
now.
us feel like women, even on up into the winter months, we do very well to still have on a short sleeve layer under a jacket because we go inside and you roll up to say the Cracker Barrel and they've got that fireplace raging and you're like it's really not that cold but everybody wants
Yeah.
that feel of the raging fireplace and you can get too hot inside.
We stopped at a brewery this weekend and they had the fireplace running on the inside and it was not cold. Like it was hot and they had it running. I was like, okay, I get that you want to create the vibe, but you're not going to get it until we drop another 20 degrees. So,
So it's always, especially if you know that you're prone to getting too hot, keep
yeah,
those t-shirts in your rotation and put them under a jacket or even under a pullover sweater. So in case you go somewhere
you
and
have
you
to
were dying, you
glue
can
them.
rip the
Yeah,
sweater off. Nobody has to even know you have it on underneath there.
right. So you brought up something I want to make sure that our listeners caught, which is besides just the year-round piece and how to style it to transition, um, something else that you had said, I don't know if they caught it, is that when something might feel too summery because of the color, is the key here is what you pair it with color wise with your to bring it into the next season. So Gail mentioned, you have this light yellow t-shirt, pair it with olive, which feels more earthy, feels warmer and cozier, darker colors going into the fall winter. I don't want any of our listeners to make the assumption that they must now suddenly change their palette if they're light, like and they have a lot of light colors just based on their palette, and they're feeling like, well, I can't do anything you just said because fall winter you need to wear darker clothes, darker colors. And the thing is, when we go over the trending colors of the season that Pantone reports and then what we see in the store, true, there are definitely darker neutrals showing up and some darker colors, but there's also brighter and light colors all in that collection that's out there in the store. So it's not like it's this rigid rule. Maybe it was once upon a time, but it's really not like that anymore. So,
Sometimes it's a gentle slide.
yeah.
Don't hear that we're just saying wear all dark colors. Don't get that because a lot of you want to. You want to instantly just wear dark. But maybe in the summer you were wearing like an off-white creamy denim. You might go
Yeah.
all the way over to a tan. And for you, if you have very delicate, very light coloring, that shift it can be enough. And
Yes.
you can take some colors that look very good on our lighter girls. Like I think coral's a good example.
Yes.
When you mix coral with white and with
Yes.
some of the colors we naturally relate to summer, it feels very summer. But say you've just got a basic coral button-up shirt
Yeah.
or basic sweater. If you do put that with, say, now camel instead
Mhm.
of, off white or a wheat kind of color like sand, or if you do like the deeper colors, you girls who are lighter, you could go with a lighter brown denim
Hmm.
bottom and still keep that coral up around your face. And that
Right.
combination would work for you.
Right.
Um,
The
I
other thing,
think,
sorry,
yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
We both
Go.
talk to each other. What the other thing to keep in mind, listeners, is it is okay to create some contrast with yourself. So you hear me often, you will hear me often say things like, well, if you're light, your range of colors is light to medium, and if you're super dark, you might want to avoid pastels, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And those are just general rules so that you don't have someone like me who is fairly light to medium wearing black and having it drain me. So we give you these guardrails to kind of help you identify your range. But there's also something very beautiful about creating some contrast with yourself. It creates interest. So like today I'm wearing kind of a darker olive green. I won't think I would go much darker than this for myself, but it gives it a little bit of a dressier vibe. It creates a little bit of contrast. I can wear a little bit more lipstick with it, and it just is a different look. So if you are someone that's light, it's okay to go a little bit darker. You can try some of the richer browns that are out there. Just make sure that you're not completely washing or overpowering your features, right? So, like my husband, who's getting fairer as he's getting older, he celebrated 60 this past week, and his gray is actually making him truly lighter. Usually you hear me say, well, your eyebrows aren't going to be, he's really getting lighter. But he bought this beautiful, very on trend, dark cocoa brown, which is everywhere. This really, really nice sweater as it gets a little cooler out. And honestly, it's going to look great on him. It's going to look great because it's going to pull out just a little bit of the darker tones that he still has in his hair and create that contrast. And it's going to feel very, very dressy
I
versus
think
if he
it's
had gotten
great.
something lighter, it would have
You
been,
still have any darker tones in your hair, your brows, your lashes, your eyes, then that will tie into that deeper piece
yeah,
nicely. It
yeah.
will come together. Now, here's another option for those who are on the lighter end of the scale and dipping into deep colors is not really the best option for you. Your best option is to change the fabric.
Nice.
If
Yes.
you traded in a sand color of slacks that are linen and you
Hmm.
now trade that for a wool slack or denim, that suddenly feels heavier,
Yes.
has more just weight to it.
Exactly. And that goes to the tops too, right? I mean, you could wear a sky blue t-shirt in the summertime and then still find a beautiful cashmere sweater for comes fall, winter. Yeah, okay, sky blue maybe doesn't feel very fall, but it will absolutely feel winter. So, I mean, wear it. I mean, it'll
Yeah, and if it's in a sweater, it works.
right.
So don't go away from your best colors just because they don't feel like the weather
Hmm.
outside. Look for a fabric that makes that work. A
Yeah.
jacket, a tweedy, something that brings it down. Also, that's another good point to make is say you like very light blue and it looks very good on you. Look for a tweed piece that has a little bit of depth woven
Oh,
into
that's a
it.
good tip.
Instead of white or cream in a little lady jacket, look for a lady jacket that maybe has sky blue with navy or a
Hmm.
little touch of one of the berry tones or any of these cocoa browns, even beige, it will just bring it down a little bit and turn that dial towards feeling a little bit more like the weather is outside.
That's a great tip. Again, stick to your, and Gail's the master. Gail's very good at I know she loves the find, and she's also just very good about getting very creative about putting you pieces together you wouldn't think necessarily would go together. So stick to your color palette, ladies. You don't need to change your color palette. You might want to lean a little darker if you want, but staying light, as Gail just mentioned, can be perfectly okay. So just don't be wearing, light
Another
linen.
thing I can do is go back to those accessories. Say you have that light blue sweater and it's really a beautiful sweater on you. Like I think of one of our clients, if y'all know her, Hillary, you've seen her on some things. She is very, very light
Yes.
and she looks great in light blue and light pink. Well, what we do in the winter is we will also change up some of her accessories. So if maybe she wore that in the summer with a bright, shiny silver earring or white, if we change that to a navy earring, maybe navy shoes, a navy belt or bag, that navy will pull that down a little bit and
Right.
make it not, it will ground it is really the right word. You can do the same thing with, just a mid-tone color. Any color that's just deeper than that blue that works with it. So
Exactly.
maybe if you're very cool, you go with a little burgundy belt. And
Hmm.
if a tiny little belt, but that tiny little strip will ground it and make it feel differently. So you could take that same sweater, a pair of jeans, and put on a burgundy flat and a burgundy little thin belt and some different earrings, and that would feel totally different than the sweater and the jeans with a raffia belt and a sandal.
Hmm.
You just
Exactly.
change out the accessories, and I want you to consider your makeup an accessory. Go towards things that may, and you may just change one thing like your lip color. Just taking your lip color a little bit deeper, a little less bright, even if it's just a mid-tone like a mauve. Mauve is not a dark color, but it can feel like a deeper color than say a bright, bright pink because
Hmm.
that those colors that bring it down a little bit, it's not going to be too dark, even if you're a light person, but it takes off that electric color that sometimes we think of in summer, like our
Right.
bright pinks. So sometimes it's just a little nudge of something with it. The makeup, the
Right.
accessories can totally change it by grounding it a little bit. Because in the summer, I'm not looking to brown things. I'm wearing a lot of white. I
Right.
want them to feel light and feel. But in the winter, I do like that groundedness a little
Hmm.
bit.
Um, On the opposite end of the spectrum, for those of you that are deep or darker or even medium to medium deep, unless you're a high contrast individual, and I'm like meaning, black, almost black hair and very fair skin, going lighter isn't the same option as someone that's light that can dip in a little darker. I feel like if you go too light, it will start to really wash you out. So it doesn't mean you can't have lighter pieces. It just means stick within your palette by pairing it back up to part
Mhm.
of your palette because otherwise you're going to start to look washed out and nobody needs that. We want you to look amazing. And
It's
so,
usually not a problem for our deep girls because the minute it's August 1st, they are running over to get
yeah,
all
they're
their
they're set.
brown. Like they are on ready to wear all their dark colors.
Yeah, they're the ones complaining in the spring and summer going, well, I can't wear some of those, summery things, even though once we get into the season, we see that a lot of colors are
And
very dark.
this season has given us so much. I feel like everybody can be happy this season because all the brown tones are really doing it for our warm girls and our cool girls.
Yeah,
In this continuation of our obsession with all things plum. I mean, plum's just never seen it have such a trend. I mean,
it
it's
is
going on
so
about the third
pretty.
season, and there's some help coming up for you there. Just winky winky, our master's group. But those can be paired like a plum is also a great choice for someone who's like a soft, cool light to do a plum pant on the bottom and still
Yeah.
bring out your beautiful powder pink
Yes.
sweater.
Yes.
The contrast, it is a little high contrast, but because it's away from your face, it's okay. It's
Yeah.
absolutely okay.
Yeah. It's gonna be a little high contrast. Don't don't not wear darker colors because you're worried about that. Just make sure that with the stuff that's closest to your face is the most flattering with your coloring. And if you want to wear something darker, yeah, the bottoms and shoes and accessories are really going to definitely bring your closet and your wardrobe into that season really nicely. There are so many beautiful dark colors out there right now, and I'm most of for me will be bottoms and shoes and stuff, but it'll look great with just about everything else. Man, some really good looking stuff out there right now.
It's a, I am so happy with what they're giving us this fall.
Yeah,
And
that
the
burgundy that's out there, that deep burgundy, the deep plums, I just love it. Like, I wouldn't
is
wear it as a top on me, but I will absolutely wear them as bottoms and skirts. Those that cocoa brown that's out there right now, it's super dark. Again, not my best as far as a top, but absolutely an amazing bottom with all of the my sweaters and stuff. We're gonna have so much fun. So, listeners, Gail and I meet up in South Carolina for our annual work event, if you will, because we design all the what we're going to do for next year. And so if you have comments about that, if you're a fan, please
mhm.
be kind, but please be welcome to put comments into things that you wish you could learn. We would love to know. But yes, so Gail, I've agreed. I've agreed to have Gail take me shopping.
Reluctantly, she's agreed, but she's naked.
Yeah, it's like I am naked. Like I only have pants on. No, okay. I'm wearing pants.
We're
But yeah, no, I'm like it's been a few years since I've really shopped for like full outfits and stuff. And so um yeah, we're gonna make it a little bit of a shopping trip too. So
we're gonna have fun.
yeah.
But there's just so much good stuff out there right now,
Mhm.
and like it's really a wonderland. But I will caution people that now's when you get the best choices and options, especially in things like boots.
Yeah.
They don't make boots for a very long period like
Right.
they do other shoes that sell all year. So you want to get the boots when they're first released. You want to give it a minute to let them all drop, and then you want to get your boots because those are things that once the sizes are gone, you may not see that boot come back for the
Yeah,
rest of
you're
the season.
right. You're right about that. It's really yeah, I've made that mistake before.
Used to in years past, you basically had two options for boots, black or brown. That's just the way it was. The last couple of seasons, we've seen colored boots really surge to the forefront, and they're so much more interesting than just a black or brown boot. Now, I'm
Hmm.
loving all the chocolate brown boots, but they're above and beyond that basic brown boot. But what we've seen the last two seasons are navy boots,
I love
gray
it.
boots, burgundy boots, and cream or off white,
Mhm.
which I
I
think the off white boot for especially a soft cool light, the black and brown just feel too heavy on the bottom and you get that in with a thud. Those I got a client some ivory boots last year and they were everything. She got so much wear out of them because it's hard for her to wear really dark colors. Even on the bottom, it just
Mhm.
feels weird,
Right.
except navy. She can do navy. Those boots, you wouldn't think you would get a lot of wear out of an off-white boot, but with sweater dresses and all kind of cute little skirts. They were just great. And the good thing this year is we're seeing tights and hosiery and socks make a real comeback. So, you get yourself a off-white pair of boots and off-white pair of tights. You can wear that with so much. And you don't have to feel like, oh, I'm light. I have to go get a heavy brown or black boot. Gross. You don't. And
Right.
these wine colored, plum colored boots, the blues, they're just beautiful.
I have a pair of boots of suede that Joe got me, suede in this color.
Oh, pretty.
They're so
Oh,
awesome.
very pretty pair of red boots, I think.
I know somebody very special. Her name rhymes with kale.
I thought
Sorry,
you didn't know what you were going to say there.
I don't know how it's going.
They wear a red pair of booties, and that's
Yes,
another option. We're seeing like wine red, we're seeing warm red.
right. These are the ones you got me are like a wine red. They're kind of a cool red, but and obviously I'm a warm person, so it's not going to go with all of my pieces, but it looks really great with some boot cut jeans and then any top works. So it looks they're pretty sharp. I think I just wear them? I did
The
just wear them recently.
we're seeing a lot of are pattern boots, cheetah,
Mm,
snake. I actually got a client though last week, a pair that are like a tapestry in olive green tones.
interesting.
When I said, did the boots come in? We were on FaceTime. She's like, oh my gosh, they are so beautiful. You could tell just the way she was handling them was so, uh, we got to wear those ASAP. So they are definitely a more of a collector type piece. You're not going to have a bunch of those.
Right.
But I've seen also like a faux alligator type or these other reptiles, but they're done in like a very warm caramel kind of brown, almost a terracotta color. So I'm all about the colored boot. And if you're one that just felt like, gosh, these black and brown boots just they just don't work with my clothes,
Hmm.
stand for joy. If
Right.
you're on the light end, the off white, the gray, especially gray suede, it's a very pretty color option.
Yes. Yeah. I would agree. And honestly, even if you're in the warm palette and light, the colors that Gail mentioned, even the gray, I mean, be careful. You don't want it to be, it's not going to work with all your things, but even like a warm gray, um, can be can pretty much go with just about everything you've got. If, you know,
Camel is a great choice for our warm
it
girls.
is absolutely. I
They're right
have like
there.
yeah, light warm brown obviously to warmer browns, but I'm just saying like if you're just like, well, I'm kind of over brown, I already have it, I want something different. I don't think it's necessarily wrong to go and look at like gray or a warm taupe. Again, just make sure that you're not doing a one-off where it only goes with like one thing in your wardrobe. Make sure it's a nice medium, rich color that leans a little on the warm side, so not a blue gray, but there's a warm gray out there, and that could actually look really really nice with like a brown skirt, your
And some of
jeans.
these can be worn with the
Yeah.
shorts we're talking about.
Now,
Now
when
you
we talk about the shorts, though, Gail, sorry to interrupt you, but just in all seriously, when you talk about the shorts,
let's talk
when
about it because I'm obsessed.
because I am too, and this brings back like the late 80s to early 90s for me as far as is that right? Maybe it's 90s to late 90s. Either way, the whole shorts was a th with the hose was a thing. Um, but when we say boots and shorts, we're talking about ankle booties, correct? We're not talking about knee-high boots and
Oh, you
shorts.
can do a knee-high boot.
You can. See? I'm
What
learning every
you
day.
better not do, I will die if I see you on the street. If you're going to get a tall boot, make sure it's a tall boot. It's coming all the way up over your calf. Boots that stop mid calf should not be made. They are terrible.
They are terrible.
They don't work, and they fool people into thinking they got a tall boot, but it doesn't quite meet the skirt, or it's not. The proportions are just off. But you can absolutely wear now with the tall boots. You can actually wear them right now with no hosiery.
Mhm.
Just a tall boot, a pair of shorts. Even they're doing it with like a big old blazer, and then this itty bitty short, and then a tall boot. You can do a short boot, and you'll be able to do it with tights too. But when you do that, I would do a tonal tight
Yeah.
that the same color as the boot. We're not
Right.
trying to top up the leg. That's not the goal here. The other look I'm loving though are the little like trouser socks. They're made out of hosiery material, so they're kind of like a
Mhm.
tied sheer. The ones I wore yesterday were like crew height, and they were sheer nude, but with black polka dots on them.
Oh, cute.
And I wore that with black leather flats that even had an ankle strap. Like they're doing it with everything. They're even doing it with slingbacks. It's so cute. I wore the black, but I had on a top that had a leopard on it in pink and black. So I had the
Very
dog
Gail.
to the socks, matching back to the dots of the leopard. So it's little things like that that will make your outfits feel like, oh, and it was just a last minute. I fretted over it. I tried on another pair of socks and I'm like, wait a minute, dots and dots. So things to remember here is that keep your boots in good condition. I see people come out in boots that look like they were run over by a tractor. That's not the kind of boot you wear with these looks. So keep them polished, take them to a cobbler. Make sure they're the right height for you and make sure they're the right fit around your calf. And just like we're seeing expanded sizing in clothing, we're seeing expanded sizing in shoes and boots. So, like one brand is even made, you can get a regular width shoe part but with a wide calf. So they're doing all kind of combinations to fit you. Get the boots that fit. Now, if you like the boots that fit a little bit loose, I'm just going to tell you, be very cautious if your legs are very thin, because if they're too loose, you're going to look like sticks roaming around in a bucket. That just doesn't work.
And I
So
mean, isn't the boot style though right now? It started last year, I think. It's a little the fitted look is a little bit more in than the loose.
we're seeing it all because we're also seeing this that I would call like a stovetop boot.
Mm,
It's it's not wider at the top. It's not that. It's just straight all the way down, and
okay.
it doesn't really cling around the heel. I don't personally like it. I think it can make the foot look a little bit heavy. And we're seeing these that have like this overlay of the shaft that goes straight down and covers the shoe part of the boot. Again, not for me. It's a little bit just of a thing. But now what we are seeing is lots of Western detailed boots. And I just had a conversation with a client about the difference in a cowboy boot and a Western detailed boot. A cowboy boot is what it says. It's a cowboy boot. It's made for riding horses. It is a cowboy boot with all its. But you can do a nod to that in something that's a little dressier. Say if you're trying to wear it to the office and you don't want to wear a cowboy boot, you can get a Western boot, which can be like a riding boot, or it can be a boot that has that Western heel on it, like a cowboy boot, but it doesn't have all the stitching. It's going to usually take like one of the elements instead of all the elements of a cowboy boot. The other thing we're seeing this year that's really cool, that is really screaming fall, winter, over summer, are studs. Studs on boots, studs on flats. I mean,
Yes, studs on sneakers.
studs
Studs
are.
everywhere.
So say you want to just give a nod
Hmm.
to one of the fall trends, get yourself a little studded belt, wear your little shorts, a little studded
Hmm.
flat, a little sweater.
Yep.
You're going to
Yep.
have that feel because the trend does say fall. So sometimes it's not about the color or the texture. It's just about this trend is new. So the
Right.
new trend feels like the new season.
Right. Right. And with trends, if you're thinking I'm not a trendy person, you know, honestly, I'd still say that if your budget allows, allow yourself one really fun piece that has that trend, like the studs on, you know, a belt or it's just there's so many great trends right now that I feel are not going to be one-offs. Some might be one-offs, but I think others are here to stay for a few more years.
Trends
So,
get bad rap sometimes.
yeah.
But I'm also a believer that looking not necessarily on a trend, but looking something that is in style, or
Yes, that's a better word for it, maybe. Definitely keeps you looking current and
we're not
not,
talking about these cheap teenager trends that come and
no,
go.
no.
That's what you're saying, current, modern. And if
Yes.
you are still working or you're in any kind of situation where you need people to think you know what's up,
Right?
like you know what's going on, you got your pulse on things, you need to have a little bit of modernity to your style.
Yes.
It can be a hint. It can be, okay, I'm just super classic. I want things I can wear for 10 years. Great. I've got pieces in there that I've had for that long. But change it up a little with the accessories, or like Jen said, bring in a belt. Like right now, bring in a snake belt, bring in a studded belt into that black trouser and gray
Mhm.
sweater you've had for 10 years. It's just a touch of dialing it. It's just dialing it a little bit in a new direction.
I have two very good friends that happened to be at Joe's birthday party this past weekend, and they're both incredibly successful in their careers. And they both walk in, different colors, completely different colors, but both each of them walked in with like a sleeveless sweater with giant pussy bow in the back.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other one had a blouse, a sleeveless blouse with this with a similar bow in the back. Very stylish, very current. That's all they needed to do to look like
The Pussy Bell
top
blouse is
notch.
a great example of something for fall because you can wear it now with a pair of shorts
Hmm.
or just a cute little skirt. And then in the winter, it is the ideal layering piece for a blazer to have that bow kind of hang out between
Yeah.
that, V top of a blazer. So yeah, the Pussy Bow blouse, if you don't have a Pussy Bow blouse, girl, go get one. You don't have to be a romantic. Let me just say that. So like me, I am not a romantic, but I would wear it and just edge it up, like with the leather shorts and the studded
Yeah.
shoes.
Love that.
And
Yes.
even though the piece itself is romantic, it can be styled very, very differently.
Well, any other last words, Gail? I think we've given them I hope everyone took notes.
I hope we give them some ideas
I
so that
hope
you
so
don't have
too.
to completely turn your closet over because for
Yeah.
most of us, that's not practical. And we're on a day to day here. Like if I took all my summer stuff up, I'd have to get it back out next week because
Yeah.
we right now we're going to have like we had a cold front come through. Now we're back to warm. It's just going to be up and down for a little while. Now
All right.
if your area has more of a decided shift, but I feel like with weather and patterns now we don't know anything anymore, so hopefully this will help you to not
Hmm.
feel just so torn and stressed and that every day I don't know what to wear. It's warm during the day, it's cool at night. We hope this helps.
Yeah,
And just
definitely.
it's the time of year I always have a jacket or a cardi or a wrap. Wraps are great because a wrap doesn't have to fit over your other layers.
That's true. And
So
it's
I
still like light enough and
a wrap in one of my best neutrals, and I just consider it my portable blanket. Just throw it in the car and leave it there.
all right, wrap us up, Gail.
All right. We hope you get into your closet and make some new combinations. Either make a new combination with color, find a color that kind of grounds your lighter colors. Maybe it's just moving to a mid-tone with some of your accessories or something. Play with your pieces, get them out and really think of, I know I always wear this with this. How else could I wear this? Because we get stuck in the same combination. So try some new combinations, bring out some more fall like accessories, and you will get through the transition period like a champ. And until next time, go and get your
Your
moxie.
Moxie on. All right, bye for now.
Bye.